about building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning. I almost said evening. I almost said evening. How weird would that be? It's 7:30 in the morning here with your favorite live stream on Sunday morning to 7:30. It's me, Dustin. How you guys doing? And I've got to start the morning by saying thank you. Because we hit 10,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? 10,000 subscribers on this channel? Really? And I will be honest, I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly. I thought I had more time to reach out to companies, plan, more time to prepare, more time to get things lined up. And here we are. And that says something important about momentum, about consistency, about what happens when you keep showing up, even when you don't know when things are going to click, really. I am in the process of working with a handful of companies to get a great amount of things for a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So hold tight. I mean, we're already at 10,180 or something like that, something weird. But hang tight. I am in the process of working with various companies, hoping I have talked to a couple, trying to get things set up, what they want to do, all that stuff. And because of that, I just want to make sure that it's something worth celebrating properly. I mean, and that's on me. I should have started the process sooner. I really should have. I thought about sending out some emails and messages when I got to be like 9,100. And I was like, well, that's like counting your eggs before they hatch. Things can probably slow down. And then it might take me like 3 months to hit 10,000. Then it made me look weird and silly. And then I started sending out emails when I hit like 9,600. And then before I knew it, I was having that live stream Thursday night, hitting and surpassing 10,000 so very quickly. And yeah. And I just want to make sure you understand that this milestone isn't just about a number. It's about you. It's about the people who make this space what it is. And that's one of the things that we focus on almost every single week. That's what we want to focus on today. This community. What it means, how we treat each other, why that matters that we stand up for one another. Because if somebody comes into the chat and is asking shitty questions about people that we're friends with, and we just sit there and we don't say anything to them, then what does that mean? If we don't stand up for our friends, what does that mean? If we don't stand up for people in this community, what does it mean? What does a community even mean if we're not standing up for each other? If we're not there for each other, if we're not supportive of each other? Because this isn't just about food. It's about health, support, and building something where people feel like they're not doing this alone. Because you're not alone. You're here. You're in this community. And in my opinion, that means something. I'm also wanting to talk about some things today. I want to talk about, and we'll get to this a little bit We'll get to this a little bit. I want to talk about the new GLP-1 pill that was announced and approved by the FDA. I made a video about that already. RFK Jr. and hospital food. I made a video about that and numerous shorts about that already. But I want to touch on these things. And I want to talk about something that I saw that I wanted to just to kind of touch on today. I want to talk about, and we'll get to this in a little bit. There's plans to have pharmaceutical ads removed from television. And I wanted to talk about what that means and is it really is it really as big of a deal as it sounds? I don't know if I'll make a video on this one or not. I've been making a lot of RFK content. I need to move away from that a little bit. It's not really doing what I want it to do. It's not really, people aren't seeming to be all that interested in it. But, I want to make sure that I'm making content that resonates with us, the community, as well as brings in new people, new eyes, shows what we're doing here, what we're all about. And Sandy's here. Sandy's here. Good morning, Sandy. I'm glad to see you. Good morning. Happy Easter. Evil Lynn is here. Good morning, friends. Happy Resurrection Sunday, Easter. Brian Dish is here. Happy Easter. Good morning and all that fun stuff. Now we've got eggs hidden downstairs. The Easter Bunny showed up. Easter Bunny left stuff for our girl downstairs. So hopefully she's going to be excited when she goes and sees that. Sean Bradley is here. Good morning, Mr. Bradley. How are you? Mr. Rick is here. Good morning, Rick. How are you doing, buddy?
Let's get dangerous.
That's what we do here. We get dangerous. So very dangerous. Oh, my goodness. Sharon is here. Good morning. Dustin, Chet, happy Easter. People are saying hello to each other. Man, I tell you what, my brain is not working. I haven't had a single sip of coffee yet today. Can you believe it? Andy, morning, everybody. Happy Easter. Josephine is here. Good morning all the way from Australia. Howdy, beautiful people. Welcome. Glad to see you. Jen is here. Good morning, Jen. How are you doing, my dear? Glad to see you. Brick says, I believe it, but I don't know what we're talking about. Rebecca is here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Rebecca. Glad to see you. And Rick says, more than double what I got in 18 years. Well, get the pedal to the metal, my friend. Make it happen, Cap'n. Make it happen. It's in your hands. Risa is here. Hello, all. Is it so early? Or it is so early. Still half asleep? I'm still half asleep. I'm still half asleep. And I haven't even had any coffee yet. I need to rectify that. Let me have a sip of this coffee. And those of you who are in the Dayton area, somewhere between Columbus, Cincinnati, you are getting a Buc-ee's very, very soon. I know it opens up very, very, very soon. And you should be excited because it's awesome. Oh, take a moment and just coffee. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. John Gugahan is in the house. John says, good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. I'll be here just for a short while because I need to leave much earlier for church this morning due to the Easter crowds. Yes. People are excited. This constant weather, like it's either 90 or 40 in this, like in Indiana right now. Wreaking havoc. Reek. Christian Delorme is here. Happy Easter, every bonjour, bonjour. Yes. How are you doing, Christian? So very glad to see you. Andy asks, now we need YouTube to do its thing so you have an income so you can do all the things you desire on this platform. Yes. Yeah. Woo. Start helping Chandra with the bills. Woo. You know how it is. If this channel was blowing up due to long-form content, my financial situation would be much different. But the fact that I've had 3 million channel views so far, it's like 3.2 something channel views, 3.2 million channel views right now. I can look and see where I'm at right now. I can see what it says. It took me 6 years to hit the first million. And since February, I've gone up 2 more million. 1.3 million in the last 28 days. Lifetime channel views, 3.277. So 3.3 million channel views. On our way to 4 million. 4 million. 4 million. I can't believe it. Crazy, crazy times we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. Our good friend Kevin from Tuber Chat's in the house. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing, my friend? I'm very glad to see you. As I was saying on your channel yesterday, and I had to leave before you got to the comment. I know you were ending the stream soon anyway. Tuber Chat's one of those places that gives people who make YouTube content a place to go and get excited about making content. Like, my stream is a place for people who are on the proper human diet spectrum, whether you're a keto, carnivore. It's a place to come and get excited and find community, find people who want to talk about things and wants to be supportive with each other. Tuber Chat's one of those places, if you are a YouTube person and you are just starting out, it is a wonderful place to go and talk shop, share ideas, share things that are working, share things that are not working. And as I grow and as I learn new things and as things do or don't work, or I play around with things, like I've been playing around with some of the affiliate stuff built into YouTube, which is kind of a funny thing. The funny thing about this is on YouTube, I can go and I can tag products directly into YouTube. And before, I was only really able to do my own merch, which doesn't sell very well. It's expensive because it's a print on demand. I don't have inventory. It is what it is. It is, if you buy a t-shirt, it's expensive. But this whole thing with the shopping is weird because I can find just about anything from Kohl's, Target, Walmart, and I can tag them and you can buy them, whether it's the coffee that I drink, coffee that you want to drink, like the Dash appliances that I use, some of like the different microphones that I use, the camera that I'm using right now, the audio interface that I'm using right now. Those things you can tag and put in there. But for right now, it's weird because I've had 265 product clicks in the last 28 days. Last 28 days, I've had $488.77 in total sales, leading to me a revenue in the last 28 days, a grand total of 83 cents. So I don't know if it's going to pan out very well right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Some of it's been from a video that I didn't even actually tag stuff in, so I'm not quite sure what's happening with that. It's an older video, the video that was attached to the short that went viral. So I've sold 9 things for almost $500, and I've made 83 cents. So YouTube, it's fun. It's an adventure, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is an adventure, and I'm excited about it. as you should be, because it's fun. And a place like Kevin's Tuber Chat is a place to go and talk about all this stuff. And Brian says pharmaceutical ads on TV should never have happened. We cannot just go and get them. Ask if whatever is right for you. So people go in and ask about these drugs. And I mean, you're seeing all these depression medications and all these things instead of what we should see, right? But I'll get into that, and I'll get into a little detail on that here in a couple of minutes, because there's some interesting information about that I'm curious about. I don't know when we'll get there. We'll get there. Andy says, I started something 9 months ago. It's created a passive income for our family. I am tracking it, and really awesome to see it grow for our retirement. It's been quite nice. I wonder if it's something that you'll share with me later, because I'm interested in finding some passive income myself. Rick says, good morning to Rick. Quack, quack, quack. And Mr. Brian Doyle is in the house. Good morning, my friend. How are you? And Eva Lynn's asking, will I miss it being here on the live, or will I going to go when it will leave when she wakes up? I don't know what time she's going to wake up. She's been sleeping till like 11 or 12. But who knows? We'll see. I may miss it. There are Easter eggs hidden all over the downstairs. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how long we go today. Depends on how long this chat is active and chatty and all the fun things. So the more chatty you are, the longer I'll be here. But sometimes you all just kind of get all quiet and sheepish and stuff. I don't know what's going on with that. Jabber Jen is here. Happy Easter, Dustin. Well, thank you so much, Jen. Very glad to see you. And even Easter is here. Easter is here. Oh, my gosh. Cindy is here. My brain is broken. Welcome, Cindy. And I haven't forgot about you. We were chatting something the other day, and then I got distracted, and then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I got to get back to that. But I will reach back out to you, because I will remember who I was talking about and all the things we were talking about, and I will get back to you on that. I'm sorry that I got distracted, and I'm like, squirrel. I will if you reach out to me and we're chatting on something, like on Instagram or whatever, I will talk until you're like, oh, this is awkward. That's just who I am. I'm a chatty Kathy. And Cindy says, congratulations on 10,000. Well, thank you, my dear. So very glad. So very glad that you are here, you and my good friend Brian. I'm going to take a sip of this little bit of some electrolytes. I have some clean slate salty right here. It's got some flavored water enhancer in it too, but it's really yummy. I just felt really thirsty the last couple of days. Thirsty on more ways than one. And Risa says, I have to be at work a half hour early today. Store has been just crazy because of Easter. So many people annoy me so often. It's a strange week. Ugh. People are weird. Everyone's saying hello to everybody. Smoothie is here. Hello, Dustin. Congrats on 10K. Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. Well, thank you so much. Welcome. Glad to see you. Evelyn's asking when does school restart for us. She goes back tomorrow. We go back tomorrow. And I don't know when we're out for summer. I know we've got Memorial Day. Let me see. Let me look and see what we've got here. Let's see. We are in April. We go back on the 6th. 6, 7. We have Memorial Day off on the 25th. And then what does this say? May 29th is the last student day with an asterisk. End of grading period. Okay. Summer vacation starts the June the 1st and goes through, it looks like, July 1st or July 31st. It looks like they start back, I believe, August 1st, I believe. They usually like the last day is like June 1st and they go back like July the 30th because they do the balanced calendar. Josephine says, "Oh no, how long were you live, Dustin? I forgot to refresh." I was live on Thursday for about an hour and 15 minutes. I've only been live today about 21, 22 minutes. Andy says, "I can attest to that. Getting a text from Dustin can be a long conversation about many subjects. I love when it happens." Yeah, I mean, you text me, I'm going to give you attention. You know what I mean? It's Easter and Passover at the same time. A few people have wished me happy Easter. Passover at work. That's nice. Some folks recognize that, but I'll be making something holiday-ish tonight. Oh, yeah. Milady says, "Hi, Cindy. I might miss the live stream this afternoon. We got a late Easter meal with the family." Andy sang it. I heard her. Evelyn says, "Are you going to Elkhart for Memorial Day? Is that the meetup on Monday? Actually, on Memorial Day?" Yes. As far as I'm aware, I'm waiting to hear from Amy to see if Smokin' Fatties is going to be open that day and if they can accommodate us. But that's the day the Bears are looking for. Otherwise, we'll have to move it to a different day or a different place. But yes, Chandra and I are looking at being there that day. We will drive up there, hang out with y'all, or whoever shows up. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. But I am all the way caught up with this chat. So let's go ahead and go back to the talk about Robert F. Kennedy and his like, so what it says here is like there's been a lot of discussion around Robert F. Kennedy, RFK Jr., and his stated goal of limiting or removing pharmaceutical advertising. But it's important to understand where things actually stand. Because I was asking about, is this going to just be from TV, cable? Is this going to extend to podcasts, radio, YouTube, Google Ads? What does it really mean? Okay, so realistically, what it says, it's important to understand where things actually stand. As of now, there is no finalized detailed policy that clearly outlines a sweeping ban across all media platforms. The primary focus of his public statements has been on direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical advertising, which is most viable on television and traditional broadcast channels, which is dying anyway. Who watches broadcast TV? I'm very curious. Who still watches broadcast TV and doesn't do everything streaming? I imagine there's a few of you here who may still watch, but it must be very, very limited because we got rid of cable like 10 years ago. The United States is one of the only countries in the world that allows this kind of advertising at scale. And proposals like this are generally aimed at restricting or limiting pharmaceutical ads in those traditional formats first, especially TV and cable. Let's see, where regulation is more clearly defined. When it comes to the digital platforms like YouTube, podcasts, radio streaming, Google Ads, the situation becomes more complex. These platforms fall into a mix of federal oversight, private company policy, and the First Amendment considerations. Any attempt to extend a ban in these places would likely face significant legal challenges, particularly around free speech and commercial advertising rights. It would also require coordination with enforcement through agencies like the Federal Communications Commission and the Federal Trade Commission, and potentially new legislation from Congress. As of now, there has been no clearly defined or actionable framework showing that such restrictions would significantly extend to influencer marketing, podcast sponsorships, or targeted online ads. So realistically, this is a whole lot of nothing. Removing the stuff from terrestrial TV and cable does very little, because most of us are consuming our content on Instagram. We're consuming content on YouTube. We're consuming content, Facebook and these things, YouTube or Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all these places. So granted, we don't see many ads because we have ad-free YouTube, ad-free Hulu, ad-free Netflix. The only place we get ads is Amazon Prime. And I remember we were trying to watch Northern Exposure. We watched the entire series of Northern Exposure, and every commercial was for Jardiance, a type 2 diabetes drug. A fully produced, dancing, singing, bright colors, earworm song production that was in our heads for weeks when we were watching it. We don't pay the $3. I would say paying the $3 a month is probably well worth not hearing that ad ever again. Ever again. So really, in practical terms, what's being discussed is more of a broad intention or a policy direction rather than fully developed plan. The most realistic starting point, if anything were to move forward, would be traditional TV and broadcast pharmaceutical ads, with any expansion into digital media being far more uncertain, legally complicated, and likely to take significantly longer if to happen at all, which I don't see that happening because pharmaceutical pockets are deep. Our elected officials are greedy. They take all the money that they are given. It doesn't matter who it's from. It doesn't matter. They'll take whatever we give or whatever they're given, except information from us. They don't want to listen to us. And we can't forget to mention KPL. Also, have you got your ticket? You know what? I'm working on it, okay? Aaron is here. Happy Easter. I don't watch TV. I only do streaming now. Yeah, we got rid of all the cable a long time ago. And Sean says, I surely hope so. Pharmaceutical ads really tick me off. Jardiance, especially. That medicine messed me up bad. Yeah. It's just, it's also a very annoying commercial. Oh, I love coffee. It's so delicious. This broadcast is brought to you by coffee. Because without it, I would be asleep. And Risa says, we still watch broadcast TV. Hubby watches MSN or MS Now and old Columbo TV shows on broadcast TV. Me TV shows and cozy TV shows. I watch sitcoms when I have time to record on the DVR. We still, I mean, sometimes I will put on, because we have an antenna, so I can watch like basketball games or football games sometimes, or the Olympics or things that are when I wanted to watch Jeopardy, I'd have to use the antenna. And Evelyn's right. There is no money in the truth because you can't handle the truth. You need me on that wall. Risa says 9% of all the ads on MS now are pharmaceutical ads. I mean, that sounds like not very much, unless you mean 90% or 99%. Terry's here. Good morning, Dustin and gang. Happy Easter, everyone. And it's just basically there's a whole lot of nothing going on, right? It's just like the video that I made about hospital food. I mean, realistically, it's nothing. They're switching out cereal for oatmeal, flavored yogurt for regular yogurt. They're not really doing anything. They're just doing enough to make it look like they're doing something, but they're not making any true, meaningful, impactful changes. They're not saying, well, we're not going to up they're talking about lean protein, about, fat-free chicken breast. So, I mean, really, what are they even doing? They're not doing anything. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what drives me crazy, right? It's like we can't get good, decent food in a hospital, even though they're making millions and billions and trillions of dollars. And I did put in one of my little shorts, I was like, that hospitals are stretched thin. And somebody got upset with me and was like, what do you mean they're stretched thin? I was like, hospitals make a lot of money, yes. But they are not going to invest that money into food unless they are absolutely forced. They hire the minimum number of nurses. They hire the minimum number of staff. They hire the minimum number of people to make food. And if they were to go and implement a fresh food, like a fresh food initiative where they had to make fresh food every day, they would be hard pressed to even accomplish that because, again, hospitals hire the bare minimum staff because hospitals are for profit. Even if they're a not-for-profit, they're still for profit. They have to make money. The CEO needs a bonus. So I don't know. It's like, it's like we don't want to make food the primary initiative. And again, we talk about pharmaceutical advertising and all these things, and then we have, companies like Eli Lilly, which is a Indiana-based company, and they're pumping out new GLP-1 pills and stuff, and people are going to take that. And again, I know that that's going to help some people. And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that that's not a tool in the toolbox for people to get some help. But first and foremost, we should be focused on the food supply that we have here in the United States. The food supply we have here in the United States is abysmal. It's poverty food. We're recommended to eat poverty food because it's profitable, because they can get us to eat that. And then we need pharmaceuticals to feel better. Then there's all the poisons in the air and the water and the food, and we need medicine for that. And then we got to see the doctor, and then we're upset and we're sad and we're all this, and we're eating more bad food. It's a revolving door. They feed us the cheapest food possible to keep us attached to the system. It's fun, right? It's okay. Yeah, Risa says I meant 99%. That's what I figured you meant. I figured you meant that. Carl is finally here. Welcome, Carl. His phone was dead. Likely story. Did you get that text message I sent you the other day? I sent you a text message. Did you get it? Did you get it, Carl? Did you do what I said? Did you do what I asked you to do, Carl? Because I don't think I got a response, Carl. I don't think I got a response, Carl. I sent that to you on Thursday, Carl. Dustin is here. Hello, Dustin. Good to see you, my friend. Morning, all. It's been a hot minute. Happy I could make it today. I'm happy that you could make it today. How are you? I'm glad to see you. And Terry Girl says, pharma ads is part of the dumbing down of America. I don't know about that. I mean, it's just, I don't know about the dumbing down. I think we have a tendency to dumb ourselves down in a way. We have a tendency to just be like, whatever. I think really what it is it's death by repetition. They just keep doing it over and over and over. They're like, ooh, and then you get this song in your head. When we were kids, it was Palmolive. I can soak my hands in it. And where's the beef and all these things. And now it's, is this drug right for you? Brenda Foley is in the house. Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Yes. Brenda said her girlfriend got real sick off of Jardiance. And Sean said, the morning after my heart attack, the hospital served me turkey, bacon, granola, and yogurt. That was a diabetic-friendly meal. And you know how many people I've had in my comments talking about some of this RFK stuff with the hospital food? They're like, carbohydrates are essential. There's nothing inherently wrong with carbohydrates, okay? Yes, there is. I mean, if you have like 10 grams of carbohydrates in a day, that's probably not going to hurt you. But it's not, okay, it's not like the one meal. It's not one meal that's got us here. It wasn't one meal. It wasn't one Big Mac. It wasn't one bowl of cereal that got us here. It wasn't. It's day in and day out. I was saying that carbohydrates are a problem because the average American, without even understanding or realizing it, is probably taking in anywhere from 500 to 1,000 grams of carbohydrates, be it complex and simple carbohydrates, whether it's wheat, sugar, whatever. The average American is probably taking in 500 to 1,000 grams without even realizing it. And are you trying to do it? Yes. People get drinks that have 100 grams of sugar in it in the morning. Now, is that everybody? Absolutely not. But if you stop in a Starbucks and get your Frappuccino iced latte thing with a muffin, that's got to be 150 plus grams of carbohydrates right there. Then what are you going to have for lunch? Another 150, 200 grams of carbohydrates. And then for dinner, another 250 grams of carbohydrates. That's well over 500 grams of carbohydrates, not including any snacks, not including if you pick up a soda. You stop in and get a soda on the way home. That's another 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 plus grams of carbohydrates in a day. You're trying to tell me that people don't drink multiple cans of soda a day? That people don't stop and get fast food drinks more than once a day? The idea that the average American is not ingesting 500 to 1,000 grams of carbohydrates a day between food, drinks, snacks, mindless eating on the couch, just having you polish off a bag of potato chips, watching CSI in between Jardiance commercials, It's real, and people just are legitimately don't see it. They legitimately don't see it. Lewis is here. Hello, Lewis. How are you doing, my friend? Carl says, I have been disgusted with the amount of pharma ads on TV, even with paid streaming services. They shove the "you are sick, take the med" propaganda down your throat. Just do keto and you won't need most of it. This is true. Yeah, I agree. You have to try and stop them. Is it a start? Maybe. But it's hard for me not to be cynical. When it comes to things outside of this community, when it comes to people in high places, it's hard for me not to be cynical and just see people going through the motions. Trying to do something to make people think you're doing something. It's hard for me to see elected officials, appointed officials actually doing something of any real value. And I understand that even just trying is a benefit. Him coming out and talking about beef tallow is important. But what's showing up in the grocery store? We're seeing kettle chips fried in beef tallow at Costco. Does that help us? I mean, there's an argument to be made that yes, it helps us. But does it really help us? I don't know. I mean, every step is a step in the right direction, I suppose, but I'm so cynical when it comes to things, when it comes to our elected officials. I don't trust them. They don't give us a lot to trust. And I see like they come out and say, we're going to do this. But really, I mean, going after pharmaceutical ads on network TV when it's all but dead, just to me seems too little too late. Going after hospital food but not actually changing anything seems just grandstanding. I feel that I've got Carl over here, and I've got you, Brian, along with people in this chat, do far more to benefit society than these elected officials or these appointed officials. And Brian says, for what hospitals charge for a room, they should make what you want, not what they think you need. It's your body and life. But I mean, I understand that as well. But again, you're going into a place that's got oversight. There's people that go in, and there's dietitians that put things together, and they're saying, well, you can have this and you can't have that. You're a diabetic, so you can only have this. You can have peanut butter and crackers and granola, and you can have oatmeal with orange juice because you're a diabetic. Now, it will be nice if one day they said, okay, well, we have the traditional diabetic menu, or you can have a keto menu, or you can have a carnivore menu, or whatever. I mean, we're probably looking decades down the road. Lewis is here. Good morning. Lewis says, I slept in and I'm covered in cats who are reminding me of it. I understand. That's why we never let cats in our room. Now we have one cat, and that cat lives outside. I just give him water and food. When it's cold, I have a heater. Leave the garage cracked so he can kind of come and go as he wants to. And Sean says, what really sucks is sometimes on Hulu, it will show Jardiance commercial twice in a row. I get this. I understand starting is doing. But starting and then not doing, like, it just feels like they're not doing anything. Like, or they're doing something just to say they did it. But I don't think they're actually accomplishing anything. And again, like I said, I have a major distrust when it comes to government officials. As we should. We should not trust anyone that's elected. It's like, like, oh, they're going to, I want someone to run I can trust. But if they've gotten to the point where they can run, how do you trust them? Yes, Madge, I soaked in it. And Rick's heart attack diet. Carl says I was sleepyhead when I got the text, so I didn't see it until midday Friday. Yes. And Sharon Holloway is here. Good morning, Sharon. So very glad to see you. And Brian says, it is about food and getting rid of the junk. So why does it seem that you are suggesting that trying to do something about the food and dyes and ad is not doing anything? I guess when I break it down, they have all the things that they say that they're doing. And then when you break it down, you realize it's not nearly what they say that they're doing. It's not like they come out and they have these giant headlines. And then when you break it down, you realize that it's just fluff. It's just a feel-good measure. And that's how I see it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here. Maybe I already feel defeated and I don't think they're ever really going to change because everything is so entrenched. And, and I mean, is it like they're making headlines that make people question things? Sure. But then when you go in and you see, well, what actually are they trying to do? And it just feels like they're just going along with the status quo, but with a headline that says otherwise. I don't know. I just don't trust it. And again, at the same time, as soon as this administration is no longer in office, what's to say they're not going to go and put everything back to where it was? Smooth says, used to drink 24 packs of Coca-Cola a week. Yeah. I mean, I remember being in my early 20s and being in my own apartment, and I would buy 3 bricks of Pepsi because they'd be on sale like $4.99 a brick. So 24 packs. So 3 to 4 24 packs because they were $5 a brick. I'd come home and they would be gone before the weekend was over. It wasn't all me, it was my roommates too, but Evelyn says, road trips used to be a huge trigger for me. We used to eat from one destination to the other. I still like that for us. 16-hour drive, it's difficult. Carl says, the certified licensed hospital dietitians are required to put sugar in the patient rooms. They said they have to. They gave a sugar cookie and then gave him insulin. That just doesn't make any sense. low carb life lasts. That's a mouthful. Welcome. We have to take responsibility for ourselves. There is drugs everywhere if we want them. Carbs are addictive and sugar is addicted. And I'm addicted to sugar myself, and I need to do better. Yes, we are all obligated to take responsibility for ourselves. The problem with current society is it's very difficult to understand what taking responsibility actually means, because you can't get a clear, defined answer from those people who are supposedly in charge and designed and leadership positions to tell you what is healthy for you, for real, for you to be able to take responsibility. I think that's a huge, it's sad that it's up to the individual to figure out what is healthy. And then when we kind of start to figure it out, then we're shamed into, you're going to have a heart attack, or you're going to do this, or you're doing it wrong. And Sharon Holloway's got her fresh brewed tea ready to start her day. I'm very glad to see that. I hope you have a wonderful day, dear. And Keto Carl says, Carl, keto dogs, as the dietitian's books are written about by Abbott Labs. That's who makes the insulin. Yeah. That's like when everything is all connected and joined together. That's like if you start looking into like soda and food, and everybody is owned basically by like 3 companies. Even competitors that are owned by the same company. You start looking at like CVS. CVS owns the pharmacy. They own the insurance. They own everything. There's more companies like that than ever before. It's just so entrenched. I don't even know how. I mean, the only way really to fix it is to do what we're doing here. We can't rely on our elected officials to fix shit. And Sean says, I have to go for another sleep study soon. Even with a CPAP, I'm still falling asleep during the day. The doctor was talking about putting me on meds for narcolepsy if I test positive. Concerned about it. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be concerned about that. I don't know what real. I wonder if there's something behind narcolepsy. I don't know. I'd be curious to know. Evelyn says, I've enjoyed a few shorts of the life insurance leaders on vacay. Swim with sharks, go get cats, tigers. Those are funny commercials. Oh, I don't know if I've seen those. That oversight comes from our education system, not what should be done. Again, I mean, even in our education system, we're teaching our kids to be good little workers, not to be fully educated. We're teaching people how to, show up to work on time, be good workers, not be smarter. Oh, it's Helen. Okay. It's Helen. Okay. I was like low carb life. Okay. Helen. Hey, Helen. Okay. Helen. Carnivore was the only diet I did where my cravings went away, but I ended up with histamine reaction. So too scared to do carnivore again. Plus not realistic. I mean, I think that's just, again, where modern food takes a kind of like modern food is kind of an issue. I don't know. I mean, how do we get around histamine? How do we get around these things? Like if you felt better and your cravings went away, but then there was histamine, like, I don't understand. Like, how do we get past it? And Brian says, this is the first time in a long time that the officials are actually doing something. I would say this is the first time in a long time they've talked about doing something. Again, I'm very skeptical and cynical here. They haven't done anything yet. They've only put guidelines in place. But most of the companies that are saying they're going to abide by the guidelines have set their schedules out far enough to where they anticipate this administration being gone. So nothing is actually changed. We've talked about a bunch of stuff, but nothing is actually in place. We've talked about beef tallow. And some restaurants are putting beef tallow back in. That's amazing, but they're still cooking French fries and chicken tenders and stuff in it. We're not really seeing any meaningful discussion about what real nutrition is. We've seen a food pyramid change, but still missing the mark. And maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe I want too much. But yes, are they talking about a lot of things? Yes, they are talking about a lot of things. But they're putting guidelines in place, even with the hospital food. It's a directive that if they don't comply by who knows when, they'll get funding cut. But who knows when that would actually be? I don't know. It's just hard for me to look at this and be like, yes, we're doing something great by just talking about it. I mean, talking about it's great, but I feel like we do more than they do. They make better headlines, but we do more. And Rick is here. Hello, Earthlings. How do you know I'm not an alien? And Brian's asking about thyroid labs. That would be something to be, I wonder, it might be interesting to see if you could go to ownyourlabs.com, which is run by Dave Feldman. And Helen says, well done anyway on your 10K following. I think I have 286 now. I'm thinking about documenting my eating again to keep me accountable. I think realistically, it's important for all of us to just talk about our daily lives. If you have a channel, focus on who you are, what's going on, what you want to talk about, what's interesting to you, and you'll find an audience. Frank, welcome, Frank. Good to see you. Frank says, I wish more restaurants would offer more keto-friendly choices. Would help tremendously when I don't feel like cooking at home. Most places, their whole list of appetizers are a no-go. Yes, but there's always things that can be done. Like at a Mexican restaurant, order the fajitas. Just get fajitas. There's meat and veggies, onions, peppers. Steakhouse, steak, shrimp. Most restaurants are going to have something, like if you're going to like a regular, like there's always bacon and eggs and burger patties, steaks or whatever, chicken, grilled chicken, whatever. There's always something. It may not be the best thing that you want. Even at Red Lobster, you can go and get a steak and broccoli if you're into it. There's always keto options. There's always low carb options. Just talk with the server. But I always kind of come at it with like, hey, it be more in the line that these are like eating restrictions that you have, allergies, or whatever. I'm allergic to sugar. Yeah, corporate lawyers impede the change. Money impedes the change. Again, we are inundated with poverty food that is here to maximize profits for everybody but us. And Brian says to Sean, that is one sign of sleepiness. Yeah. I would get your thyroid and hormones checked. I've been trying to get Shannon to do that for like over a flipping decade, and she just won't do it. Nurses are awful. They will help you with you, but when it comes to them, they don't listen. Question: why is most, if not all, thyroid info directed towards women? Men have thyroids, don't they? Yes, men have thyroids. Men have hormones. But I think for the most part, and I don't want to talk out of pocket, but I think for the most part, hormonal imbalances are more likely in female than male. Not to say that we can't have them, but it's one of those things that often doesn't impact us as much. I mean, we should all probably get them checked. We should all probably know what's going on. I mean, we've got, we have hormones like thyroid and things like that. And then we have like low T. We can have low testosterone. And I really hate that that it does that and goes bright. I wish it would stop doing that. Sean, I would have that done before I start any med from a doctor. I would say that would be a thing too. Yeah. And you're right, Brian. I'm not saying that you're not, but every journey starts with a single step. It's hard for me at this juncture to see more than political grandstanding. I mean, I'm sure that he wants to make changes. I'm sure he wants to do things. Maybe. I just think that, I don't know. I want things to change. I want things to be better. And then I'm also guilty of thinking about like things like this. So what happens to our economy, or what would happen to our economy if we were to cut out 95% of all of the hyper palatable, highly processed foods? If we cut out 90% of the grocery store, what would happen to our economy? What would happen to what would happen? Would there be a major collapse? Would we see a closing of lots and lots of grocery stores? Would we even be able to produce enough meat? These are valid questions. I'm curious about that. Not to say, like if everybody went carnivore tomorrow, we would be screwed. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, try to get everybody to live a single ingredient, whole food, animal protein, animal fat forward diet. And it is going to take a long time to get that infrastructure in place. That's like one of the things that people talk about when I posted about the heavy cream at Costco. They're like, it's in plastic. Okay. Even the cardboard containers are lined with plastic. If we were, say, to go back to glass, they were like, because a lot of people talk about wanting to go back to glass. There was infrastructure in place for glass. There was major infrastructure in place that's just not there anymore. How would we replace that? How would we go about getting that infrastructure back in place? I think we want to see these changes. And we have these elected officials or these officials that are put in place by other elected officials. And I think that they come out of the gate swinging and they say things that sound good to us. But I think there is a lot of work behind the scenes that needs to take place. There's a lot of legal work that needs to happen. There's a lot of congressional work that needs to happen. Infrastructure work that needs to happen. There's a lot on the back end that's not front facing that most people never, ever think about that needs to happen before we can even discuss seeing meaningful change in the way food is provided in this country. Think about how many cattle we have in this country and how much meat comes from New Zealand and comes from other countries, and we fly it in or truck it in or whatever we do with it, bring it in on boats frozen or whatever we do. There's a lot of infrastructure that has to change. There's a lot of things that have to change before we can see meaningful change. And I think that's what really bothers me the most when I see these headlines is Band-Aids without any real meaningful back end change the things that we hear they want to do can never happen. It doesn't matter how bad we want it. Sure, that, fat restaurants can say, they can go and put beef tallow back in their fryers. And that's a meaningful first step. But then what are they frying in it? What are they frying that we are going to eat? What actual benefit does that have for us? And maybe I am too cynical. Maybe I am too Debbie Downer. I don't know. Maybe I am. But that's just, when you start to break it all down, the infrastructure, like all of the farmland, all of the pastures and all the things that could be used to make and raise cattle to give us more plentiful beef supply that could lower the prices. And right now we're paying at least $4 a pound for most of the time for beef. We're paying so much money. I don't know. And it is expensive. And then people are, I don't know. There's a whole list of content that I want to make that kind of goes into how do we flip the script on how people look at buying food. But again, back to this discussion, a journey does start with a single step. You are absolutely correct. But I think the steps that we're seeing taken are not valuable, meaningful steps. They're just, to me, in my opinion, political grandstanding that doesn't amount to much. Does it get a conversation going? Yeah. But unfortunately, most of the people outside of our community look at someone like RFK Jr. and think he's a crazy person. So whatever he says, water is wet, sky is blue, people are going to trust him and believe what he says. And Sean says, I agree, Frank. We usually go to places where we know we have keto-friendly options and appetizers, things like smoked chicken wings, peel and eat shrimp, charcuterie boards, sliders, take buns off. I mean, really, when we go out to dinner, it's typically things that we don't want to cook ourselves. We go get wings. We'll go to B-Dubs and get wings. We go to like Mexican restaurants, or we'll go and get the keto pizza and stuff from around the corner. Outside of that, we don't go to steakhouses because it's way too expensive. I can make a decent steak at home in like 5 minutes. Throw it in the cast iron, let it sear up. And Sean says, thanks, Brian. I'll have to talk to my doctor about getting that checked. I would say go and look at on your labs and just go and get it a full like thyroid and hormonal panel all done on your own. I wouldn't even go through your doctor, Sean. And just take the lab results to your doctor and go, what do you think about this? And if things are like lower in normal range, like, shouldn't we bump these up? Shouldn't we have a discussion about these? What does this really mean? Because I think if you go to your doctor, they're most likely going to just want to check like the T4, T3s, or whatever that is. Tamura says, what's next? Corporate government has betrayed the people. Yes. They do not represent free people. No. They represent corporations. What is next? I don't know what's next. How do we get meaningful regulations and meaningful governmental change that actually benefits us, the people? How do we do that? How do we do that when everybody's kind of on the take? I don't even know. Is it even possible? Miss JMW is here. Hello. Good to see you. Almost missed the live. Hi, guys and gals. Welcome. Good to see you. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Brian is right. The government should represent the people, but they don't because they represent the corporations because they pad their bank accounts. Someone is asking, so what specifically is the proper human diet? So the proper human diet is a coined phrase by Dr. Ken Berry. And it is single ingredient whole foods, meat, eggs, bacon, low carb vegetables. Really what we would have eaten long time ago. Avoiding starvation food like grains and potatoes. Avoiding poverty food like grains and potatoes. That's what a proper human diet really is. That's a great question. Sharon's heading off to the garden. Glad that you could make it for a while. Getting settled while it's cool out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Easter. And Helen says she thinks it's more the red meat that gave her histamine problems. I need to work out what I can do animal-based type life as it's better for me, but I don't want histamine again. So isn't histamine something that grows in meat as it ages? Is that what it is? Let me look this up. Let's find this out. In meat, histamine is primarily a byproduct of bacterial activity. Fresh meat naturally contains very low levels of histamine, but accumulates over time as certain bacteria break down the amino acid histidine into histamine through a process called decarboxylation. Aging and processing, traditional dry aging of beef and fermentation of sausage like salami or pepperoni significantly increase histamine levels because bacteria have more time to act on the protein. Storage and temperature. Histamine producing bacteria thrive at room temperature. Even in the refrigerator, these bacteria continue to grow just at a slower rate. Surface area. Ground meats have much more larger surface area than the whole cuts, providing more space for bacteria to colonize and produce histamine quickly. Specific species, some animals, particularly certain fish like tuna and mackerel, naturally have higher levels of free histidine in their muscle, making them more prone to rapid histamine buildup if not frozen immediately after being caught, which I think happens a lot, right? Like the flash frozen things like fish. Cooking methods. While histamine itself is heat stable and cannot be destroyed by cooking, the method used can influence the final concentration. Grilling and frying often increase histamine concentrations, likely due to moisture loss. Boiling has been known to decrease histamine levels in some meats, possibly by diluting it into the cooking water. That sounds miserable. Who wants to eat boiled meat? What is it, 1830? I had my boiled meat, sir. No, nobody wants that. Buy frozen. Choose meat that was flash frozen immediately after slaughter. Avoid leftovers. Histamine continues to build up in cooked meats sitting in the fridge. Freeze leftovers immediately instead. Skip the age. Opt for unaged beef or similar or smaller animals like lamb or poultry that typically require less hang time than large cattle. Okay, so what can we do? Let's find out what we can do, like natural things that we can do to combat histamine. Combating histamine naturally involves a combination of reducing your histamine bucket through diet supporting your body's clearing enzymes like DAO and stabilizing the cells that release it. Let's see. Freeze everything, flash frozen meats, avoid big ferments, while typically healthy fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, aged cheeses, and alcohol are histamine bombs. Boost your DAO. I would say I would rather eat meat and avoid cheeses, unfortunately, but boost your DAO enzyme production. Diamine oxidase, DAO, is the primary enzyme that breaks down histamine in your gut. You can support it with these cofactors. Vitamin B6 and copper are essential for DAO function. Fresh beef liver and kidneys are top sources of these on the carnivore PhD path. Vitamin C acts as a natural antihistamine and helps DAO degrade released histamine. Opt for non-citrus sources like bell pepper or broccoli, as citrus can actually trigger more histamine releases. Sprouted legumes. Some studies suggest pea sprouts contain significantly higher levels of active DAO. So it sounds like getting more beef liver and kidney and things like that in your diet, adding in non-citrus derived vitamin C. Let's see what else. Ginger and turmeric have potent anti-inflammatory properties that can prevent meat cells from degranulating, bursting, and releasing histamine. Let's see. Quercetin, Quercetin, found in onions, apples, and capers, is one of the most powerful natural mast cell stabilizers. I love onions. I'll eat more onions. Let's see. Lifestyle adjustment. Stress management. Stress is a direct trigger for mast cells to release histamine. Practices like deep breathing and yoga can physically lower your histamine load. Hydration. Dehydration is a major stressor that can impair immune balance. Staying well hydrated helps your system flush toxins. Lower histamine probiotics, using probiotics like common strains like Lactobacillus casei, and can produce histamine, which can produce histamine. Look for histamine neutral strains. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to eat any of that stuff. But stress management, hydration, onions, ginger, turmeric might be beneficial, it sounds like. So that's interesting to know. Rick doesn't know his blood type. I always get an A+ on my blood tests. Sonny is here. Hello, Sonny. Very glad to see you. Happy Easter, Dustin in chat. And Risa says the problem with the restaurant food is the use of seed oils that are hidden. You have to talk to the server, but they don't even always know what is in the food before ordering. Eating clean is difficult. Yeah. I mean, eating clean is very difficult, but I would say going out to dinner is kind of a gamble, no matter what you do. So, I mean, realistically, sometimes it's kind of worth it just to get out of the house, I guess. I don't know. Horizons Crochet is here. Thyroid issues and fat deposits full of hormones are more common in ladies. Yeah, I think so. Guys, it's just not something that I hear a lot about in discussions with men. That might be a very valid question to ask Dr. Barry sometime to see what's going on with that. And Rick, I mean, you are correct. I mean, people are waking up. People are starting to get to where they're not wanting seed oils. I mean, that's why we're seeing companies like Hellmann's starting to put, seed oil-free mayonnaise on the market. It's costing the same amount as Chosen Foods, but I mean, it's still, but even at $10, it is relatively more affordable than making it yourself. It'll take time. Remember telling people back in the 70s, 80s that food was bad for us? People thought it was nuts. People thought I was nuts. Yeah, I mean, even now, the idea that food is more likely to help you with issues. How many of us have friends and family who are suffering from all kinds of things, and they won't take any guidance? You can suggest, have you tried eating less of this and more of this? And they're like, it's genetics. It doesn't matter what I do. It's genetics. And you're like, or I have friends that have all these major ailments and they've gotten to where they are symptom free with medication and they are terrified to try to do anything besides take the medication, even when the medication is dangerous. I get it. People, I don't know, but I don't know. And Brian, I mean, I refuse to live my life in fear. Change causes pain, but it's worth the effort. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of any of the change. I just don't see that. I'm not afraid of any of it. I'm just looking at it from a very cynical, skeptical, they're not really going to do anything kind of lens, I guess. And I don't know how to change that. I guess they'll have to change my perspective if they actually start making meaningful changes. Even on a lot of it had to happen on the back end. We have to see new legislation, things happening, big companies losing control, not being able to do what they want. Those things will truly move the needle, I think. And then I might be able to be more trusting. But right now I have very little trust. Not a lot of fear, just not much trust. Lions Danivore podcast is here. Hello, good morning, new to the show. Saw you on Mitch's live stream. You're a solid, love your views. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Glad to see you. I'm not really familiar with you, but I'll see what I can do and find out about you a little bit. Good morning. Welcome. Yeah, and these are things that, I mean, it's difficult to confirm about, even if they are using tallow, is it a legitimate tallow? And I see like people going in and want to see like, could you show me the container that the tallow comes in? And you're getting onto these like servers and stuff, and I'm like, they don't know or have time to deal with that. I mean, we really should be calling and I don't know. I think there should be transparency. You should be able to go on to especially a like a restaurant where there's a chain and they have to utilize the same stuff. Then I think that would be something that would be meaningful, to be able to have the transparency and to show all of the food labels that they use for everything and what's in them. And I mean, you can look up ingredients for certain things and like the carbohydrates, but it's not always accurate. So, Dub 82. I'm just going to call you Dub. Dub says, fasting for sure messed up my thyroid numbers. So, fasting can be utilized in a negative way. Like if you are fasting too much too quickly, I think then that can be something that can impact you. Or if you're fasting but not getting enough, and getting enough protein and getting enough nutrition and all the things you need, I think that could be a downside as well. So Lion says, I have a vacation planned for Italy, France. I couldn't care less for the pasta, bread, desserts, pizza, wine. The GMOs these companies state they don't have isn't even appealing. Planned steakhouses already. I can't say with any whatever. If I go to Italy, I'm going to try Italian pizza. I'm not a big wine friend. I'm not a big wine person. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm going to try some of that stuff. That's like when in Rome, whatever. But I mean, is it something that's like, I mean, I want to try it. I mean, I'm not dead, but I'm also a food person. I mean, I like steaks, but I can get steaks in the States. Is a steak in Italy going to be all that much better than a steak here? Maybe. But I imagine the bread and the pasta and the pizza is probably going to blow whatever we have out of the water. So I don't know. And then you're getting a lot of time to walk and be in fresh air and do things like go to the Louvre and all that stuff. I don't know. Go to Disneyland Paris. That's what I want to do. I don't even know what we can do with glyphosate. This administration, I mean, I don't even think really before, when did we even start talking about glyphosate? I don't even know how long it's been. I don't know. I love it. There's a video of a guy who's like, you can drink it. And he's like, okay, we'll drink some. And he's like, he's like, well, drink some. You can drink it. He's like, I'm like, okay, you know. I don't know what we could do. It's in our soil. It's in the, I don't even know. We'd have to, again, the back end of things. We would have to go in and do all kinds of decontamination of all the soil to get rid of all the glyphosate. It's in our water. It's in everything. It's just in everything. How do we get rid of it even once we stop using it? Should we stop using it? Yes. But even still, how do we get rid of it once we've stopped? These are very important and valid questions. Evelyn said, I had a goiter as a teen. I had to go on meds, took Synthoid until the goiter went away. Thankfully, it did. And I got off the meds, continually having my thyroid checked now. Isn't that a lot to do with, like, isn't there like a lot to do with iodine, especially being in the Midwest? We have a lower iodine in all of our plants and food. So that's why people in the Midwest, that's why they started putting iodine in the salt, because people were getting more prone to having goiters. I mean, recently, it would be amazing if restaurants actually used healthy ingredients in their recipes and they said the menu instead of the norm. But I mean, you got to remember, most restaurants are all pulling from like the same 2 or 3 restaurant companies. It's all coming from the same places. Most restaurants aren't going to farmers markets and getting that daily fresh stuff. It's almost all coming from 1 to 2 to 3 different restaurant supply companies. Everybody gets the stuff from the same place. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm so just like jaded and just like it's all for nothing. Like we're never going to fix it, but we have to do what we can do on our own. I don't know. I'm not normally so like morose, I guess, but today, I don't know. Like just when I'm like, oh, they're talking about doing this, and I look into it and I'm like, they're not really doing anything. I don't know. And Evelyn said, that must have been Michaela Peterson was sensitive to. She could not have aged meat. I'm glad for 8 years she was able to heal so much. Yeah. So I'm sure there was glyphosates in it. And then she was like, even like pepper messed her up, which is still like, I still hear people talking about like, I don't use pepper because of the oxalates. And it's like, there's 3 milligrams of oxalate in a tablespoon or a quarter tablespoon or whatever of pepper. And like a quarter tablespoon's enough for like 5 people or more. I don't know. It just doesn't, I mean, there's just bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. I don't know. And Lion says, one of the biggest facets of the lion carnivore is the fasting aspect. Eat when your body is truly hungry, not timed eating. If a person isn't hungry for 48 hours, that's okay. in this lifestyle. Yeah, I think what really messes people up is when they start forcing themselves through fasting. They're trying to do extended fasting where their body's not ready for it yet, or doing it too much. I think that's a huge issue as well. Now, do I think everybody should be on the lion diet or the carnivore diet? No. I don't think it's going to work for everybody. I don't think people have the same drive, the same ability to want to do it. So therefore, it's not going to work. But I think we have a better chance if we promote, again, like the spectrum, all the way from like one side to the other. You have over here, you have single ingredient whole foods, whether that includes some potato or rice or whatever, but it's single ingredient whole food, meat, potatoes, carrots type thing. Then you got all the way over to here where you have like the super strict lion diet where like, I don't even salt my food. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. But I think it takes that spectrum because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and to think that they're all going to do the exact same thing, now that's myopic. That's crazy. And Helen says, that's why I'm going to try keto, but whole foods, and not have red meat, just chicken, duck, 30 grams of rice and broccoli. I mean, I would say if you can get some, what exactly does the histamine do to you? That's my question. I don't know. What exactly is it causing issues with? These are questions that, I mean, we talk about histamine. I understand when we talk about oxalates, it can cause issues with like kidney stones and stuff. But what is histamine? Like, what does that actually do? Because I think a lot of people want to know. We talk about histamine, but what does it actually mean? Christy's here. Good morning, Christy. Very glad to see you. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Christy. And Evelyn says, we just came through the nutrition portion of teaching for our second graders. Glad I wasn't responsible for telling them carbohydrates are a necessary fuel. I know that when our girl goes through that, she's going to be like, my pa won't eat. She's going to be like, my pa says that isn't necessary. When she tries to feed me cookies and all these things. I'm like, I don't need that. And Sean says, all my sisters frustrate the living hell out of me. They all say they can't eat the way I do. If I can give up potatoes, rice, and bread, anyone can do it. You just have to want to bad enough. I don't even think it's necessarily you have to want to bad enough. You just got to give it a shot. And then if you give it a shot and you truly give it a really good go, then you can, I think for me, one of the biggest reasons I was able to kind of stay away from all that stuff for so long was the satiety. Like the food noise goes away and then you just don't care anymore. It's not as big of a deal anymore. And the mental clarity, and there's just so many things, there's so many benefits that come out from it. And Carl, you're right. It's like we have to completely change the infrastructure of America to actually implement change in laws. It's all about money. It really is. And Horizon Crochet is asking me, what is my number one recipe book or website for someone new to keto that hates to cook? I don't really, because when I was utilizing like websites and recipes, it was all like all day I think about food or whatever. And then there was like, there was a bunch of keto websites I used, but almost all of those require you to want to cook because a lot of the replacements take a long time. There's a lot of work. Like even if you take a look at Chris Cook in Nashville, his stuff is fantastic, phenomenal, delicious. But most of it outside of the meat is a lot of work. A lot of steps, multi-part steps, cooking and dehydrating and doing all these things. So I think if you really want, oh, my nose is just so itchy today. If you really want to be simplified, hamburgers, eggs, steaks, bacon. I put bacon in the oven. I just fold it over, put it on a lined baking sheet, 2 pounds at a time, because each tray holds 1 pound, and I cook it in the oven, 350 for like 35 minutes. That's about as simple as you can do. Scrambled eggs, frozen beef patties, hot dogs in an air fryer. That's as easy and as simple as you can ever do it. And Lion said, this is the most simplified way of eating. I'm making pork belly and chuck roast in the slow cooker for our Easter dinner. Salt, tallow. What am I missing? That's about it. Bacon wraps it up. I mean, it is very simple, but I don't even do slow cooker. I mean, we don't even, like, for me, pork belly, I get some of the pre-cut pork belly, cut it into small cubes, fried in a skillet until it's crispy, almost like what I would call like carnivore home fries. They're just little nuggets of delicious frozen hamburger patties. I think that's a big win right there. Frozen hamburger patties. I would wonder how those would be tested for histamine. I'd buy a lot of frozen hamburger patties. I've got round ones and square ones and smashed ones. Oh my. Sean says, you're going to be disappointed in an Italian pizza, but I won't. I mean, I think to me, part of food is the experience, the place, the like, it's the whole experience. Like, you're sitting in the south of France, or like the south of France. You're sitting in like some vineyard in Italy having a slice of pizza or whatever, and you're sitting with your family and you're in a place and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and people are speaking Italian and it's just amazing. That's going to be amazing. And I'm sure gelato, though. I'm sure gelato's fantastic. And Carl says, we started talking about glyphosate when we tracked death back to Roundup. It's freaking everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how we remove it. I don't know what we do. And a little pushback. Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, heading to these countries for people that have food addictions. I'm a food addicted person, but also at the same time, like, I have a lot of food addiction issues. And I struggle to maintain those. I really do. But to be completely transparent, if I go to these places, it's going to be something that I try. Because how often am I going to go to Spain? How often am I going to go to Italy? How often am I going to get to France? Probably one time. I'm inundated with pizza here all the time. There's pizza everywhere. There's fast food everywhere. And I'm pretty good about avoiding it. Fast food is pretty easy because most of it's not good. Fast food's not very good. Now, if we were to get like In-N-Out Burger here or Whataburger here, it might be a little different. But those, again, are things that I only get when I'm like now 5 hours away. Now they have them in Nashville, Tennessee, in the Nashville area. So now instead of being 1,000 miles away, it's 300 miles away. So it's like 33% closer or 66% closer or whatever it is. So, I mean, for me, like, there's a McDonald's in the back of my neighborhood. I don't really care about that. I'm not going and getting doubles and triples burgers or nuggets or anything like that all the time. But if I'm going to go to Italy, I'm going to try some actual native Italian food, because how many times am I going to get to go there? I think I have to make those conscious choices for myself. And I think that's a big point for you to do as well. You have to understand you. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you would have the ability to say no. I know me and probably would not be able to say no. And Evelyn said, "Good morning, Christy. It was hard to sit through. I pointed it out to the teacher, but she has to teach that. And the kids have to quiz to answer these questions." Yeah. That's like all the people that are going in and getting like doctorates or like nutritionists. Even nutritionists who are on our side still have to go through the training, the schooling, the testing, and basically write the wrong answers down to pass the tests, which is weird. And Risa says, food quality is way different in Europe. It is higher quality, more strict food laws. They don't have all the chemicals in their food, especially in Italy. I've heard a lot of people say that when they go to Italy, they'll eat pasta and pizza and all these things, gelato, and then end up losing weight when they've lost weight when they got back. I'm like, that sounds insane, but if the food is a higher quality, then I mean, you figure they eat that food all the time and they don't look like us. So, I mean, there has to be at least something to that. Yeah, and Christy says, yeah, we're required to teach the standards. Since I don't have nutrition standards in 5th grade, I tell them to eat more protein whenever I get the chance. I mean, that's what we tell our granddaughter. Eat protein so you're not cranky. Eat protein so you can get big and strong. Eat protein so you have energy. We try to feed her eggs and meat whenever we can. Chicken and beef and bacon. And she goes through phases where she won't, just like trying to feed her. She just refuses to eat meat. She'll still eat eggs sometimes, you know. And Rick says, my current doctor was an environmental engineer. It's amazing what is in our soil and air. It's insane. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they cook with seed oils. I don't think they do. Evelyn said, my doctor just told me I was taking too much iodine. I've backed out of the extra iodine drops, but let's see. I'm getting into daily minerals now. The last trip with my doctor, it seemed like a give, and we'll see what the rest she says here in a second. Lance is in the house. Happy Easter, Dustin and all. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lance. Glad to see you. Let's see. And Lions to each their own, of course. I totally get. I wouldn't want to be able to. I wouldn't be able to allow my past demons to take over again. It's like a covering blow addict visiting Colombia when in Rome. I mean, I've given up cigarettes. I've given up drinking. I pretty much given up almost all sugar and most carbohydrates. I drink coffee, some diet soda from time to time. I mean, I'm not necessarily tempted by most of that stuff, but I think I would want to at least try it. Maybe not, maybe, I don't know. It'd be hard for me to go there and not try it. Like, it's like going to Disneyland or Disney World and not seeing Mickey Mouse. I don't know. We have a lot of nutrition to discuss. I felt really well informed, as if we were on the same level. Doc took notes from my journey. I love that. And Sean says, I keep telling people that I was on diabetes medication for 12 years. I tell them everything I did to get off the medicine. I have their full attention until I tell them all the food I gave up. That's the thing is, people want to be healthy. They want it, but they don't want to give up anything for it. They don't. Or they try and they can't. I think we could see a lot better if, again, if it wasn't so, we weren't so inundated with all of it. If it wasn't everywhere, you can't even go to Lowe's or Home Depot without seeing chips and candy and soda and all that stuff. Yeah, that is true. I do have like 92 recipes. I do have a bunch here. They're not all easy, but most of them are pretty simple. So is Rick still here? Are you still here, Rick? What's in that carnivore heart attack burger challenge that you've got? So I was thinking about doing my own little take on that. but I just got to know what all is on it. It's cheese and beef patties and some kind of bun, because I make my own waffle and I'd make that into a bun. I'd probably break them into 2 burgers instead of one big one. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what's going on, because I wouldn't mind trying that maybe. We'll see what happens. And Lion says, I totally agree. Carnivore isn't a cure-all, but for some, it's a great segue to great health. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic place to at least try. I think everybody should at least give going like carnivore a try. At least ketovore a try. Keto, low carb, sure. Everyone should at least be low carb for the most part. Other than being vegetarian is optimal for health, I believe it's the addiction many of us contend with. And I think it's a manufactured addiction. It's not even really up to us necessarily. We don't even realize it too much until it's too late. So Helen says it attacks the nervous system and nerve damage and burning and stinging sensation and headaches. So I've never really had that. So I don't know if if it's something that is necessarily if it's something that I have issue with or not. I have never had that before. And Cindy's right. In order for this way of eating to work for anyone, you have to be ready. And you have to have the right mindset at that moment. And I think there's a lot of understanding that goes into this. There's a lot of, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And whether it's a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day challenge, I think those really help. But I think realistically, setting yourself up for success after taking time to truly understand who you are, like what Lion, the Lion Danivore says, you have to understand yourself. What are you addicted to? What triggers you? And a lot of times it takes years to figure this out. It's taken me a long time to figure it out. I remember just like random day stress can kind of trigger me a little bit and be like, I'm going to go to McDonald's. I don't even like McDonald's. But my body was like, it's right there. Why don't we go and get some? Coming out of the grocery store, having a bad experience at the grocery store, being upset and frustrated and stressed out over something at the grocery store, which in hindsight seems so silly. But if I wasn't paying attention and didn't have a support system, like my wife, and be able to text her and be like, hey, I had a bad experience at the grocery store. It sounds dumb. I want to go to McDonald's. I just want to throw food at my problems. And we do that. We do that so very often. We just want to throw food at our problems because food is an easy answer. I mean, it's better than alcohol. It's better than illicit pharmaceuticals. I mean, better to a point, right? And I mean, I self-soothed and self-medicated with food for years. To the point I was ridiculously big. Over 400 pounds. Sean says, the cravings are still there, but they're more of a whisper now instead of a screaming demon yelling, eat me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that just don't entice me anymore. I used to love Oreos and all. Like, I have actually walked down different aisles of the grocery store trying to find something that looked good recently. Like, I'm going to have a night, eat whatever I want. And I'll walk through the grocery store and I'm trying to find things that look good. And it's difficult. And that should be eye-opening for me that I don't need that stuff. And I usually don't. Every once in a while, I'm like, you know what? I want something. I'll have something and I'll want it. Or like I'll be, for whatever reason, back by the eggs. They put the carts with all of the, at Walmart, they put all of the day-old breads and donuts and all the things that they're marking down, the pastries and the pies and stuff. And they'll put that. And I'll kind of glance through it a little bit. Nothing really sticks out to me. Sometimes I really enjoy like chocolate chip cookies and milk, but then I got to have milk and chocolate chip cookies. And so, I mean, you know, finding the right ones or whatever. But most of the time that stuff doesn't bother me. Like I've literally walked through the grocery store trying to find something to have as like a cheat meal. And I'm like, I don't even know what to get. I don't even know what I want. I'll typically end up settling on like being a 5-year-old and getting some chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese or something. Because I'm a 5-year-old, but really 11 and a 46-year-old body. Yeah, just eat single ingredient foods. That's just the easiest way to do it. And Christy says, I like carnivore because I don't like to cook, so I can just put burger patties in the pan and done. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and you just scrape out the pan and use it the next time. Excellent. It's the mindset ready to attack as possible temptations that trigger the addictions or the eating disorder. I think, yeah, that's one of the things is you just got to understand yourself, understand what your triggers are, what really does cause you to go off the rails. And it's a little bit different for all of us. And Christy says, Dustin, jinx, you said hamburgers the second I typed. Because they're so easy. I've got lots of hamburgers in my freezer right now. Because they're easy, they're quick, they're fast. They're frozen. JJ in the house. What's up, JJ? How you doing, my friend? And Evelyn says, I prefer all those easy meats more at home. I've had reactions to the marinades on steak, and I won't eat steak while I'm out. Well, to me, like, I can get a $20 steak from Costco that's like this thick and like this big versus like a $20 steak at a restaurant that's like this big and like this thick. Well, I can go to Costco and just get a $60 pack of 3 gigantic steaks where like a meal for each person is going to be $60. I mean, it seems expensive on the outset, but then when you compare it to going out to eat, you're like, oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. When I first started doing keto, I bacon wrapped everything. Now I'm just like, just give me the bacon by itself. I used to bacon wrap hot dogs and chicken and anything and everything. I bacon wrapped entire like meals. I went bacon crazy. Lance put a pork shoulder on the pellet smoker last night. Put ribs on an hour ago. Just wrap the pork shoulder. A couple more hours and it'll be amazing. See, I don't even want to put that much work into it. I don't even want to do that much. I've got a pellet smoker in the garage. I haven't used it in like 2 years because I can throw frozen burger patties on the stove and be done quicker than I can get the pellet smoker out of the garage, plug it up in the driveway, and cook on it. And I got to heat it up. I can cook it so much faster than the cast iron skillet. I've got too much to do. I want to make content. I want to be on YouTube. They attacked the cigarette industry and they took their advertisements off of everything, and it helped people not concentrate on them all the time outside. But it still took, like, even when I was a kid, cigarettes advertisements weren't on TV, but I still started smoking at 16. 16 really drove it up at 18 because I could buy cigarettes. Didn't quit till I was like 31. I was like 29. I was like 30 years old. Yeah, I quit in 2010, so I was almost 31 years old. I was like 20 days from being 31 years old. I didn't need advertisements. I had my friends, they smoked. My grandma smoked. That was the thing. That's what did it for me. It wasn't advertisements. I didn't see Joe Cool and think I'm going to smoke. My friends had cigarettes and I wanted to be like them. That's what it was. It was my friends and my grandma and my grandfather smoked, and everybody that came into our house smoked. We had ashtrays in the house. It was the 80s. I remember, it was just the 80s as a kid that we had those like stand ashtrays. You know, people would come over and it was just okay to smoke in other people's houses. But it took a long time for that paradigm to shift. I think there's still places outside of major metropolitan areas where you could still smoke in restaurants. Smoking bars. There's still bars you can smoke in. Like most of like the Indianapolis area that's like Marion County, you can't smoke in. But I think there's some like private clubs where you can smoke. There's like a cigar lounge and stuff like downtown where you can smoke in a cigar lounge. Obviously, it's a cigar lounge. But I think there are bars that are around the outskirts where you can still smoke. But I mean, it's way different now. Like, and I quit smoking right before the vape thing really took off. So I'm kind of glad that, because I would have probably been into that. If we stop selling Roundup, we could eventually be rid of it. I imagine so. And I mean, imagine it would slowly get out of our system, slowly get out of the soil. But I mean, who knows? I don't know what the long-term damage truly is. Christy says, my mom went to Italy over Christmas. She sent me pics of all the meat she got while there. She's keto. It looked fantastic. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't eat a lot of meat while I was there, but I would also want to, go to like the originating place of pasta. I want to try it. I mean, I want to try what real food tastes like what it's supposed to taste like, and not Walmart elbow noodles. I don't know. Lance says, I've watched many videos on how to cook, but the best way to do it is experiment. I do things differently than the videos to get different tenderness of flavor. Yeah, I understand. Risa says, I've had Roman pizza, real Roman pizza, and it was amazing. I had it in 1972 in a real Roman pizza joint. Yes, gelato is great, especially where it was created. I was carb heavy in 1972. Wasn't everybody, though? I mean, but obesity wasn't really a thing back then. Like it's weird if you go back and you look at the people they thought were fat in like 1972 versus what passes for like a normal size now. Evelyn says, pre-keto, I used to say sprinkles make everything better. It changed to bacon sprinkles make everything better. I love bacon, but I haven't had bacon in a while. I've got a bunch of bacon in the fridge to cook up, and I just kind of get to I'll go and I'll make pounds and pounds of it, and then I'm like, oh, and I don't want to eat it again for a while. I do get kind of tired of it. Sean says, it took us 3 times to explain to the waiter in Italy what pepperoni was. First pizza came out with green peppers. Second one came out with sausage balls on it. Third was more like salami, but it was close. My favorite pizza is pepperoni and sausage. The sausage balls, they'd be like, but I mean, I guess I'd be like, what does a pizza, what do they want on their pizza? That's kind of like when I go to I would love to go to a Chinese restaurant and be like, well, what do you eat? Because I know you're not eating what are they, what do the Chinese people eat at home? They're not eating beef lo mein, maybe. I don't know. Lion says, thank you for the great dialogue, my dude. Love and good morning, keto. Good keto show. Happy Easter. See you next Sunday morning. Excellent show. Got a new subby here. God bless everyone. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to see more from you and have you hang out. Have a good day. Karen is here. Karen Harrington is here. She says, happy Easter. Glad to the live is still going. Yep. It's been a while since we've gone to 2 hours, over 2 hours. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm subbed to the carnivore danivore thing here. $130 subscribers, 154 videos, and I am now subscribed. I subscribed. All right. Fantastic. There we go. Subscribed. Subscribed. And Sean says, you'd be surprised. All my relatives overseas are heavier now. They used to be extremely fit. America has been a bad flu. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that everywhere is a bit bigger than they ever used to be. All the fast food and delivery, they don't cook much anymore. Yeah. They're all probably gonna start to get to be where I was. Because every home project needs a candy-infused energy boost. I mean, I'm glad because, I mean, I like the idea of like being able to grab an energy drink or a Coke Zero while I'm there. But like, I mean, do you really need like 99 bags of candy? Risa says, Heart Attack Burger is 4 beef patties, lots of bacon, cheese. From what I see, I couldn't eat all that, maybe half in one sitting. Okay, so that's only 1 pound of meat and a lot of bacon. Is that really all it is? Or is it 8 patties? Is it 8 patties? I need someone to let me know. Well, the advertisers and all the lawyers moved over to the sugar industry for sure. And Helen says, eating the same thing over and over again can have a negative effect, and it did with me. Like, for me, it doesn't bother me because, like, I'm usually making food just because I haven't eaten all day, and I'm like, I need to eat something. What can I do quickly while I'm doing other stuff? So, like, throwing hot dogs in the air fryer or scrambling up some eggs real quick or throwing the beef patties in the skillet real fast. Or making, like last night I had to throw a package of chicken thighs into the lard and cook those for Shander for her lunch today. I ate some of those, and our son-in-law had some. So, I mean, really, for me, it just comes down to convenience. How can I make my food as convenient for me as possible? I mean, maybe sometimes like Saturdays I'll make something a little more complicated. I'll make myself like something with ricotta cheese and you know, and some chicken or something like that, and make like some kind of like a lasagna bake or something like that, where it takes me like 10 minutes to whip it up and then put it in the oven for an hour. But most of the time, I don't want to give my food that much thought. I just want to get it done and eat it and get back to doing whatever it is that I want to do. I don't know. But I understand because I do have issues like I don't want to eat bacon every day, and I don't eat hamburger patties every day, and I don't eat eggs every day, but I do eat a combination of something like that. But I mean, I eat chicken thighs, we eat hamburger patties. I made some steaks for Shannon the other night that were delicious. I had a couple bites of that. I cubed them up and ate a couple of bites of her steak. Don't tell her. But yeah, I mean, how can we be as simple as possible, save as much time as possible, and just kind of like really whatever I can do to kill that food noise. Oh. And Sean says, that's one of the things that I love most about our Ninja Foodie. We do 6 at a time. It takes 10 minutes to cook at Salt and Done. We get the 12-pack pre-made burgers. We know there's added stuff. I mean, the burgers from Walmart just say beef. So, I mean, again, how much can you trust that? But it just says beef. Even if they've added other things from the animal, they've added maybe like lips and stuff. People are like, oh, they got lips and assholes in it. Well, that's fine. It's still beef. Lance's smoker meats made me drool a little bit. Yeah. Trying to scroll through these little comments here. Horizon Crochet says, I love the taste of bacon, but when I eat it, I feel awful after. I mean, Shander gets heartburn with pork. We don't eat a lot of pork at all. We used to eat a lot of pork loins because they're cheap. We used to eat pork loins, and we've cut back on the amount of pork that we eat, so we don't eat as much bacon. We don't eat as much like pork belly. But if we are going to eat pork, it's typically pork belly or bacon. So typically we don't eat it would be so much better for our food budget to go and get like the 10-pound pork loins from Costco, just because affordable. But if she's uncomfortable and it gives her heartburn, then there's no point in doing it. And Sean says, I was in Palma, Spain for a day, got to the beach and wanted to try authentic Spanish food. It was during siesta, so the only thing open was a Chinese place. It was good though. I love that that they take breaks and things just close down to go rest. Because I kind of sometimes for us, especially during the school year, we're up late, then we get up early and do things, and we got to take the girl to school, and then we come back and we'll take a little bit of a nap, especially if the granddaughter has had her bottle and she's ready to nap a little bit, we might nap with her for an hour or so. So we kind of break our sleep up a little bit sometimes because we're up late trying to get things done, and then we have to get up early to get things done, and then we can kind of nap a little bit during the day or whatever. So I think that whole idea of working and then napping and just kind of shutting down for a little while is really good for you. Thank you, Evelyn, for putting all of these channels in here. I truly appreciate you for that. Lance says, I do believe the heart attack burger is 4 half-pound patties. I had to watch Amy's video with Rick to see it. She may have made 2, but 4 patties were made. Okay. Because I've got some, I can make 2, I can make 2 pounds. So 4 half pounds, that's 2 pounds. Okay. Chris Cook in Nashville is here. Happy Easter, my friends. He is risen. Love you all. Headed to prep for the rest of the Easter dinner. Don't forget, Mr. Chris Cook in Nashville, his cookbook with 130 recipes is on pre-order. If you want to go over and pre-order that on Amazon, there is a price guarantee. I do have it in my link tree. You can go into KetoSimple.shop and click into my link tree. You can pre-order it through my link, or you can go into Chris Cook in Nashville's channel and link it through his. But it's going to be a hefty boy. It's going to be a chunky cookbook. Somebody said, Amazon said it's going to be 3 pounds. 130 recipes, full color photos. I've seen some of the photos over the last year or so, him doing all the photos. He said he took 17,000 photos to make sure that he provided you with the best experience. I think it's right now, pre-order's $40. They don't charge your card until October. It's due out October the 6th, I believe. But go and order one. You know you want to. Carnivore mashed potatoes. Do it. Support our friends. We love Chris. Him and Ash and Mel, the best people. Reese is out of here. Have a good one. I'm going to run and go ahead and end this a little bit here in a couple of minutes. All of you wonderful people. This is just the first of many, me trying to sell your book for you, because you've put so much work and time and effort into it. It's the least I could do. I have mine pre-ordered, and I'm planning on, when they get released, or whenever I have a little extra money, I'm going to probably order a couple, maybe 3 extras. So when they are released, I'm probably going to do a giveaway. Maybe I can get them signed by Chris himself and give away some signed copies to you guys. I want to do that. I want to give away some. But anyway, Chris, you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful Easter. Give our love to everybody. And to all of you guys, thank you so very much And again, just to reiterate, hitting 10,000 subscribers for me was an incredible milestone, something that I've wanted to do for years. But what matters more to me is what it represents. It represents all of you showing up, engaging, sharing your stories, building something together that isn't just a number. It's a reflection of a community that cares about getting healthier and helping others do the same. And that's why we do things like promote Chris's cookbook. Go and pre-order that thing. And as we grow, it becomes even more important that we stay grounded in what got us here. Honestly, respect and support. There's always going to be noise out there, new drugs, new headlines, new promises. But what we're building here is something steady, something real. So thank you for being a part of this. And just know we're just getting started. So now let's get on to 25,000 subscribers. We're going to get it done. We're going to do it. It's going to be fantastic. I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Thank you all so very much again for your support, your engagement, being here. Happy Easter. Here are those credits, and I will see you all Tuesday.